I'm going to show you how to easily connect a SQL database to VB6 6 using the easiest method that I know of. The first thing that I need to do is to create a new database. This version of SQL Server that I've installed on my computer, I downloaded free. It's the Express edition, and the link to it to download it can be found on my blog, and I've put a link to that within the comments of this video. I'm going to call this database car database because it's going to hold basic details about cars. And now I just need to add a simple table to this database. So first column will be the ID, which will be a unique ID, so I'm just going to probably call that car ID, and this will be the primary key, and this down here you need to set the isIdentity to yes, and this will be incremented by 1 every time you add a record. The next field will be the make of the car, then the model, and finally the colour. So that's that. So I'm just going to call this cars. That's pretty much all we need to do here. So now I'm going to show you this project which I made earlier. It has all the fields that I added just now in the table, the make, model and the colour, and this button allows you to add new records to the table. This field here is going to be a filter, so if you were to type in the name of the make of car and press go, it would only show in this results area the records with that particular make. Otherwise this box will show every record in the table. So at the moment there's nothing special about any of these text boxes. There's no none of this area has been filled in, just to keep everything as simple as possible. Everything's going to be done by code rather than at the form level. So I've not written any code at all yet. The first thing I need to do is declare variables for the connection. Actually, before I do that, I need to add a reference to the one that you need is this one here, Microsoft ActiveX Data Objects 2.8, and that will allow me to connect to my SQL database. So this is the variable for the connection. And now I need one for the record set. And in form load, I need to write the connection string. So first part is provider, and this will be SQL OLEDB. Data source, and this will be the name of the machine I'm using, because I've installed it locally, it's not on a different server somewhere. Initial catalogue, which is the name of the database. And finally I need to put trusted connection equals yes. Because it's installed on my local machine. And in form unload you need to close the connection. So I'm going to firstly create the code for this button here, which will insert a new record into the table. So I'm going to create a variable to hold the SQL string. Each field has to be surrounded by an apostrophe or single quote. And each field has to end with a comma. And the last field has to end with a closed bracket. So now there's just one line that's needed to execute this statement. So let's test this out. Ideally you would clear these text boxes after pressing the add button, using code obviously. So let's see whether that has definitely gone into the database. Yep, there it is. And it's automatically been given a car ID of 1. So now I'm going to write the code to automatically load, well, I'm going to write a method so that the contents of the table are automatically displayed in this text box here, which I'm going to change to text txt cars. So I'm going to also write an if statement here, which will test whether there's any text in this text box, and if there is, then I'm going to filter by the make. So firstly I'm going to test whether there's any text in that text box. next argument for the open command or method is the name of the connection. And finally you have to use this keyword here. So that's if there's no text, and if there is text I'll just add a where clause. This is not the safest way of doing things because anyone could type any other SQL code within this this txt make filter, so it's probably best if you were doing this in real life to test whether there's any particular keywords in this text box such as order by or anything like that. So now it's just a case of going through each field within this record set to see to add each field into the text box. Firstly I'll just clear the text box. Just need to create a variable for the looping, like that. And to get the number of records in the record set, you just need to use the record count property. So I'm just going to create a string which will go into the text box. And to get a particular value on the current field or row that you're looking at, you just use the fields property and just type the name of the field in quotes like this, and put .value at the end. Just going to put a carriage return at the end there. And 2 carriage returns at the end of each record. To go to the next record, you just use the move next method, and that will go through every single record in the record set. So now I just need to set the text box to that particular string. So the final thing to do is add a line of text which closes the current record set. And now I'm going to link the button with that procedure. And I'm going to test it out. So you can see that the button works by showing all the cars that are in the database. So I'm just going to add another one. And now just press this, and there you go. You can see that that has come through. So now I'm just going to try out this filter by only showing my makes that I've typed in, and there you go, that works. Just the final things to do is to, when the form loads, add the show cars procedure here, and also after a car has been added. And I'm going to take this opportunity to put in the code to remove the text in the text boxes. And set the focus back to txt make. So let's just test this out one more time. There you go. And I'm just going to add another and just finally test out this again, and there you go. So that's pretty much it really. As you can see, working with SQL databases in VB6 is pretty simple. I've only used really simple SQL statements, and obviously I've only used one table. More complicated programs use many more tables than just one, and obviously lots of different data types and columns than what I have in my database. So I hope you find this useful.